and trying to find out if there is a fire hydrant. And eventually we had to say to the council, there isn't a fire hydrant, but there is a stream. Maybe the fire service can take the water from a stream if we have a fire. So even now, unexpected things are happening that we haven't thought about and didn't think we had to. And I guess that's a good example of what life is, life in samsara. Minute to minute, impermanent. All things change. You think you've done everything that you need to do, that you're supposed to do, and then an email drops through the door or a letter drops through the door, and you discover there's something someone wants you to do that you haven't thought about doing. And we go through life like this. And of course, the world as it is sort of drives this process, doesn't it? Everything about the system drives the process. Like, for example, at the center, Jean got 2 letters from Aberdeenshire Council asking us for details of rental arrangements. And of course, we're a temple. We don't rent it out to anyone. Not even do we charge a Jean Sujana rent for his accommodation. But one was addressed to a Jean Sujan as the resident, and one was addressed to the Varapunya Buddhist Society. 2 letters exactly the same. And of course, we've had this about 2 months ago. About 2 months ago, we answered exactly the same letters, rang up the council, told them exactly what the situation is, asked them to change the postcode as well, because the postcode was wrong, explained that there's only 1 cottage, not 2. And what happens? 2 months later, we get the same letters all over again. So this is life, designed to make us mindless, if we allow it, if we give it permission. And our mindfulness practice, I think, as we develop our meditation practice, and as we allow our meditation practice to develop our awareness, allows us to not react to this situation, because a normal reaction to this type of situation would probably be to ring up the council angrily, to shout at the lady at the end of the phone, to threaten, report to the ombudsman if we get a letter for the 3rd time. And of course, a mindfulness response is to shrug the shoulders. These things happen. It's the system at fault, not the person. To send a polite email or ring, pick up the phone, explain it all over again, and hope that next time the system will have the records changed and the problem of 2 letters, and indeed within those letters, complete misunderstanding of the situation will change. So mindfulness is about learning to respond helpfully rather than unhelpfully. And I was reminded of that today again, because we're decorating at the moment. We're in the middle of decorating. And I have to tell you that decorating is my worst nightmare. Some people like it. They find it a mindful experience. I'm beginning to use it for my practice, but it is still my worst nightmare, especially on a nice sunny day, when mindful walking in the sunshine in the countryside would, for me, be a better way to spend my time. But we're decorating, so first of all comes acceptance. It needs to be done. Secondly, it comes a little planning, making sure we get a bit of time outside as well as in. And the third thing, of course, is accepting that as we finish one piece, we move on to the next piece until it's completed. And enjoying each moment, enjoying the feel of the paintbrush, enjoying the change of the colors, and yes, even enjoying the flies that land on the wet paint, hoping you can pick them out and release them safely again. So mindfulness is about how we use our meditation practice and develop mindfulness in what we do every day of the week. And I think with that, Ajahn, I'll let you pick up from there.
Okay. So you hear me well? Okay. So thank you very much, David, for sharing. So much things and so much things happens. And at the moment, I'm here in Litchfield, celebrating 15 years of establishment of a temple, and also 62 years of birthday celebration. And it happened that I am a second oldest monk sitting here, conducting ceremonies and attending. And this morning, chanting time, the head monk, he had some urgent business to do. So he said that, okay, Sujan, off you go. And now in the middle of 14 monks, a majority of them already old by age. And I'm sitting in the middle and it's on live with other members sitting. I had to give a talk. And it was like, okay, you haven't trained, you haven't informed, but now you are on the stage. You have to fight. All what I can think was that every one of us, we always have something in our mind. Without that, we can't stay still. We're always looking for something to do. And that doing again, we always have intention, what is it for? Yeah, what is it for? So that's why whenever something happens, it activates what you're going to do, what you have. And then whatever you're going to say, whatever you're going to do, you believe that it works. Yeah, you believe that it works. And the consequences is that after you have done, you have to accept the consequences. Now, the first thing it happened was that I even forgot how to chant. Initial statement, I forgot. It's like inviting every monks and members to join the chanting. Then I thought, oh, so my heart had been beating, stressed out. So I took a long breath and back to chanting. Right? And same with the speaking. At the speaking time, I had a trouble. So all I did is to come back to myself, pay attention to my bodily sensations, and look at my own self, and then start talking. And that kind of exchange helps to be mindful of. So that's why the more we practice, then we will be able to recognize that something happens at that moment. Whatever thoughts do we have, we need to be mindful of that thinking, and being mindful of that thought helps to decide whether that thinking is right or wrong, beneficial or not beneficial. And with that, we can keep ourselves still, calm, and then carry on. So with this in mind, let's practice meditation. So sitting in comfortable position. Yeah. Okay. If you're sitting on a chair, making sure that your both feet are on the floor properly, and your hands either on your knees or just the right hand on top of the left hand, and sitting comfortably. And gently close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, stopping thinking everything, but simply aware of what's going on, what's happening, checking your thinking. Now, in order to observe the thinking mind, again, if mind is restless, it would not be easy. And if mind is constantly thinking, then again, it would not be easier. So that's why observing the entire body is very important, so that you are fully connected with your body. So as you are fully connected with your body, then you fully realize that this is my body. And I can observe it. I can feel it. The closer you become one with your body, and relax you become. And you will be able to observe bodily sensations, able to observe breathing in and breathing out. And you will be able to observe that there are some sort of sensations going on at all the time. So breathing in, breathing out, observing the entire body. So it is about knowing your body sitting here, an ability to observe it objectively. So breathing in, breathing out, and observing other sensations. And as your mind is settled, non-distracted, slowly observing your own thought. Thinking, observing thinking as you are thinking or consciously aware, consciously knowing. So conscious awareness of the phenomena that arises, whatever is there. So observing that objectively. Do not grasp it as a thing that you want, or pleasant or unpleasant, but observing the reality of it. So breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling. When observing whatever other sensations are, observing, acknowledging, noting, and let it go. Whatever state of a mind do you have, observing them objectively, whether that's the mind which is struggling, the mind which is well developed, the mind that is on the training. So attentively observing that thoughts, and try to observe the reaction to it. If you're feeling comfortable with the breath coming in and out, observing the incoming breath and outgoing breath, observing it objectively. Whenever breath comes in, where do you feel the breath? When Breathing outward, you feel the breath. So bring your attention to the body now, observing the bodily sensation. Whatever sensations are there in your body, slowly bring your attention to your eyes. And slowly open your eyes and come back to a normal, away from meditation. Okay, everyone. So, and today, after 15 years of living in Litchfield, Aberdeen, Burton, first time, 12 monks and 4 shaved head nuns and 2 trainers went for alms in the city for the first time. City Litchfield, not town, people are familiar with the monks, not like in those days when we moved in. Whenever we went in the city or in a town, people were looking at us like aliens coming with a yellow robed walking around in the English town. But not now anymore. Like today, while the monks were going for alms, a few people came and talked to a monk, and also a few other spectators was amazed to see monks lining up with the bowls, passing through the Samuel Johnson's house and the Lichfield Cathedral, and sitting next to the captain of a Titanic ship, having a lunch in front of him. It was like another perspective for the Lichfield England people. So, and surprisingly, a few people even came and asked what we are doing there. And after our senior monk explained, 2 Englishmen went into the fruit shop, bought strawberries and cherries, and gave it, put 1 each to the monks. And then when he didn't buy a lot, so it didn't it wasn't enough for everyone. He said, "This is all what I can give." So like that. So this is a monk's life that is, after 15 years, kind of a normalizing in this Lichfield city. And was one gentleman who I used to teach here, and discussed. Now, he also informed me saying that he's trying to hire or get the hall from a Methodist church. And this Methodist vicar of this Methodist church say, mindfulness meditation kind of okay, but not a Buddhist meditation. So it seems like they would like to try, but not from the Buddhist monk or not the Buddhist perspectives, like that. But anyway, John, he is thinking of having this meditation in the city, town, Litchfield. hopefully it works and will be beneficial for many. And a few people even said that they will come to attend the mindfulness meditation too. Okay? So anyway, this is my story of the day. Anybody has got any stories or anything on meditation or problems? Floor is yours.
Bhante, have you got few minutes?
Yes, we have got the 20 minutes. We
Oh,
can
that's
discuss.
good. That's good, Bhante. Just commenting on your last comment, Bhante. Mindfulness is okay, but not from a Buddhist monk.
Yeah.
There's a book written by one of the GP in central London, who used to be a children's presenter in BBC One, and his colleague who was journalist. They tried everything because they were not completely clinically depressed, but they were very unhappy with with their life, although they were very successful. So they went to a Tibetan monastery to meditate. Just like that Methodist priest, they were very reluctant to follow Buddhist path. But they said the Tibetan monk, he was very good. He said, forget about Buddhist meditation, forget about Buddha, just meditate, just be mindful. And they did that. On the basis of their experience, they wrote a book called, I think I gave you one, Mindfulness Manifesto, which was very good. Yeah, which was very good. And the GP, Jonty, he said, after meditating for a few years, his whole outlook changed. He see his patients in a different way. He can be more present with them and listen to them and their problems. Before that, when he is talking to the patients, his mind is somewhere else. So people do have that problem. Now, if you have few minutes one day, I have got one question. You may remember again one day, my daughter's question, meditation, what for?
Yeah.
Why should anyone practice meditation? Can you, after 25 years of meditating, I'm asking that question again. I asked that question 25 years ago to Siva Levante, he didn't answer. Now, can you just briefly, just for 5-10 minutes maybe, why should anyone meditate? Instead of going there, my wife is watching television downstairs, so I should maybe join her. Just briefly, I think Krishna is also joining. Dharma from USA is here. Vijay is from Nepal, so we are from all over the country. If you just briefly tell us, why should anyone meditate?
Okay. So, Carmina, can I go to you first? Why should we meditate? You have to unmute.
Why should anyone meditate? It brings us into the present, and whatever we are meditating on, we can be mindfully aware, whether it's in the moment of our breathing, whether we're pushing our tummy out and we're breathing in and we're holding it, and then we're pushing the air out and we're pulling our stomach right in. And it helps our body, our mind, our spirit, and to help us get through the day. That's my explanation. We should meditate.
Yeah, David?
We should meditate in order to know our mind, because by knowing the mind, we can choose to react or respond to situations in two different ways. Our minds are conditioned, in my case, by something like 70 years of living, conditioned by my parents, my teachers, my experiences in life. So my mind has been conditioned in the past to react to situations unhelpfully sometimes, rather than respond in a more helpful way for myself and for others. And by knowing the mind, we can therefore respond more helpfully to situations we come across in everyday life. And if we practice often enough, within many lifetimes, we can improve each life to liberation. But for this lifetime, we can make our lives more helpful, more peaceful for ourselves and for others.
Okay. Vijaya, do you have any thought of that?
Unmute.
Trying to unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think is, I don't know very much, but I think the meditation, while we do meditation, the cells will be active everywhere in our body.
Okay.
Don't know.
Okay. Krishna Dorlami. Krishna, can you unmute? Oh, there. Oh, he's gone.
He
Okay.
was on duty one day. He just joined. He's still at work.
All right. Okay. So Dharma.
Dharma Rajbandar is there.
Namaste and happy birthday to you.
No, not him.
Yeah. So actually I'm having cold cough and not feeling that good, but still I say that let me join today. And it's very hard for our life. Once we are born, we have to do so many things one after another, after going through so many phases. And after working hard and then retired and then again raising the children and everything. And then what is the next? My question is, what should we do? All the time the life was busy, but right now after retirement, it is hard to spend the time. So by listening to the, all these lectures and meditation, I feel good that at least I can concentrate my body and, spend time and saying that, oh, okay, by meditation, we can concentrate some in our body. That's what I learned from this meditation, which I really like it.
Okay. Thank you. Krishna, I think you have found the place to Krishna, are you okay to speak? Otherwise, it's okay. Okay, I think no. Okay. Now the question is, why meditation for? Yeah, what for? What for? The question is, why is not? Yeah. So we eat to keep our body fit. We want to have a healthy body, so we eat healthy foods. And our mind also need a healthy mind. So in order to have a balanced life, so we have to have a healthy mind too. Now we are feeding our mind a lot. And a feeding, now we have to think, what are we feeding to our mind? So we are feeding our mind with so many thoughts, so many experiences that we have accumulated along the way. And we have our own attitude. and we have our own views. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, we are adding, or we are deciding or defining from our perspectives. So with that, rather than we are knowing our own self, we are always outside. Okay? And as Dharmaraj Bandari said, as you get old, okay, then you realize how important it is. But while you are still in a young age, your mind is so active and you will be entertaining yourself pretty much all the time, looking for the entertainment, looking for the success. And with that, you will be trying to occupy your mind with your job, with your ambitions and achievements, and thinking that that's good enough. And during this time, your mind is fully occupied with your intended ambition. And as a result, normally people will be thinking that I don't need it until something got you. It's like a COVID-19. When it was started, people say, oh, it's just a fake. It's not true. Yeah. And then those who have got it, they will say, no, no, it's not a fake. Yeah? It's not a fake. It's true. So that's why there is a phrase, COVID is fake until you get it. And the practice of a meditation is like that too. Once we have confronted our true suffering, whichever ways we face the suffering, and then unable to cope with that time, with it, at that time, then we will be thinking of a meditation. Now, for the physical body, we will immediately thinking of a doctor, immediately thinking of a medicine, or at least of a paracetamol. But what about our mind? What are we going to get it? Where we are going to? And all what we receive from the psychologists, counselors, or doctors, or even the monks. Oh, know yourself, know your mind, know your thoughts. At that time, you will not be able to do it. So that's why a regular practice of a meditation is basically shaping your perspectives, attitude. And with that, you will be able to know your mind, know your feeling, and you will be able to shape yourself. So with that, we will have a balanced mind and the ability to deal with a different situation whenever we are having it. So it's like a invisible tool that you are having with yourself to bring happiness in every situation. And that is not just for this life, if we have a belief in the next life. It is not just for this life, as we know that our mind is conditioned, and we have been conditioned even now by the past. And whatever will be in the future, we are conditioning ourselves. Whatever we do now, we are conditioning the future. So as we are practicing meditation, and then it will be helpful for the next life, because we are conditioning to the next life to have a healthy mind and healthy body. So rather than just focusing on the healthy body, we have to look at the healthy mind too. So practice of a meditation is basically learning the skills to keep the mind healthy. And that's why we have to learn, kind of not have to, it's optional. It's your choice. If you want to be happy, then you learn. If you don't, then you just leave it. Yeah. But that's the reason of why we practice meditation. And
Bhante, yeah, sorry.
yes, oh yes, Krishna.
Sorry, Bhante. Sorry, I was distracted by other phone. Yeah. The question, the one I already explained about, the one I read on one of our article from a scholar. It says, "Why should we meditate?" On that, there was written three phases, like David was mentioned. Know the mind, and secondly, shaping the mind, and as you said, like mastery of the mind, like, and then thirdly, free the mind. So know the mind, shaping the mind, and free the mind. So it was written by one of the scholars that I like. So I have already shared also in Facebook, because Dharam Sake, doctor, yeah, he can look on my Facebook as well. So which I like, and as you explained, Bante as well. So thank you, Bante.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So I hope Dharma got an answer, or not an answer, at least a guideline. The most important is it's not about intellectually finding what is it for. It is the practice that makes you understand why it is important. And the importance of the meditation will increase on the basis of our experiences that we are facing in the world and ability to deal with it. There will be no satisfying answer unless you put into practice.
Bante, the reason I asked is, obviously this was my daughter's question some 10, 15 years ago to Sunavante. But now I'm asking the same question. And also, I know at least 3 very close friends of mine who has been meditating for 30, 35 years. When I see, as Dharma Devi said, we are retired. As they retired, when I see their life, they are not at peace. One is very miserable. He used to attend maybe 3 retreats in Amravati, 10-day retreat, including with Longpost Meadow. Others are the senior Acharya with Goenka Gunju. The third one, again, practice meditation with Goenka Gunju. When I see their lifetime, I don't think they benefited at all. Although what Krishna says is very right. I've read all this. I even gave a talk at the Kingsbury Vihara, both the benefit of meditation physically and mentally. But when I see some of these long-term meditators, I feel very bad. That's the only reason. I ask the question, but I meditate. If I don't meditate in the morning, I do not feel happy. It's like having a cup of tea. If I don't have a cup of tea in the morning, something is missing. So I meditate for an hour. Like this morning, it was very nice outside. I sat in the garden next to the Buddha statue, meditated for 1 hour. Most likely this evening also, it is going to be warm inside. I'm going to sit under the tree next to the Buddha statue and meditate again. To me, it calms the mind, make me at least happy for some time. I cannot say for the whole day, but at least for during the meditation period, I feel happy.
Thing is, in the meditation, what we have to understand is that it's not how many hours of a meditation you do. It's not how many knowledge that you gain through the study or listening the Dhammas. It's the realization of it within yourself. And that's why in the practice of meditation is to understand the mind in a sense that our mind will exist only when there is an object. Without the object, there is no mind. And when a mind hasn't got an object, then we will not be able to stay. That's why when majority of senior citizens, as they grow old, their body dysfunctions, then they cannot move, they cannot do anything, and their focus attention decreases. At that time, a frustration develops. because they can't focus. Mind hasn't got the object to be with, the refuse, we call it a refuse. And now practice of meditation, if you have been practicing, eventually, at least of a breath, or at least of reading your feelings or knowing your feelings, that becomes a refuge. So you will be able to observe that as an object that mind has, and you will be enjoying every moment. Yeah. So that's why it's not about how many hours or how many retreats you've been. It's a matter of a knowing and understanding of the meditation in a day-to-day life. Now, about the retreats and failure of not only a lay disciples, I have seen monks. They count this many retreats I have attended. I have been to this master and that master and practicing with this master and that master. But the very moment, if something happens against their wish, against their thinking, ferocious, angry, like that. Whereas somebody who is very new, fresh, but if genuinely practiced and try to observe or know the breath and know the feelings and try to understand the mind, automatically they becomes much calmer. So it's not about how many, it's not about the quantity, it's a quality of understanding, ability to know things in the same as it is, as they are. That's always refer, accept, respect, and a value. And another one is make yourself, your mind, as a water that able to adjust in every jar without having any conflict. And the moment when you manage to do that, then whether you will call yourself as a Buddhist or not, you are walking on the path to liberation, to be the Buddha. Anyway, okay. Before ending, David, do you want to say anything?
I was just going to say, Ajahn, that first step on the path for many people in the world we live in is the most difficult. Because you have to have that first taste, if you like, of how meditation, even if it's just a few minutes a day, starts to change in a very subtle way how your mind responds to situations. And once you get to that moment of, oh, I get it, I see, it becomes easier because you see more clearly for yourself. But until you get to that stage, the common barriers are lack of patience, persistence, and that period of practice that gets you to that point. And that is why I think why so many Western people find it quite challenging, because the mind is distracted in so many ways that even those who come to our courses often don't have time for the course, never mind the practice.
Normally they will be signing up for it, but they drop.
It's the Buddha's teaching, isn't it? Find it for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Bante, last thing, Bante, just last one.
Okay.
I was not discouraging people to meditate. I was just discouraging that if you do not have right attitude, right motivation, and if you try to, like you said one day, I've been meditating for this many years, I've learned from such and such teachers, I've done so many retreats. If you have that type of ego with meditation, then you are doomed to failure. It's better not to meditate if that with that intention.
Yeah.
Because I feel that whole purpose of meditation is to let go of ego and everything, all the bad negative feelings. Ajahn Sumedho used to say, our habitual mind is a negative mind, and meditation is to cultivate negative mind into a positive mind.
Hmm. Okay.
Those three people gave, I remember, they meditated because their ego is very, very huge after
That's why I
30,
said
35 years.
not just the lay householders. I have seen monks too.
I know, Bante. I know there's one monk from Thailand who has got a huge following. He
Yeah.
wrote an email regarding COVID vaccinations. Because
Yeah.
I was immunization and vaccination coordinator for London Borough of Southwark for many years. So I wrote him, Bante, what you have written is not scientifically correct. I wrote him politely. The reply he got was so nasty. I was very surprised that a monk can write like that.
Yeah.
So
So
you are
that's
right, Bante, even the monks.
yeah. So that's why all what we need is to, okay, that's your belief, that's your faith, that you understand. Probably you have arrived there, but I haven't, or probably you are still haven't developed or haven't understood. But good for you. Good for you.
This is just for discussion, but just to refresh our mind.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
discouraging anyone to not to meditate.
No,
I
no.
encourage
And
everyone to meditate.
yeah.
And I myself will continue.
Meditation is something that the more we do, the better we become. And the better we become doesn't mean that we will be receiving certificates or I will be issuing, you have done this many, no. But the practice of a meditation is not to get, but to let.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to get,
To
but
let
to let.
go, not get.
The more you manage to let it go, that means the better you have become. And there is no measurement to check. You have become better. That's all. You know that you are changing. You know that you have understood. And you know that you managed to cope. The most important is ability to free yourself from any calamities, any sufferings, whether that's a complete freedom or whether that's even just 1 or 10% of it. If you can 100%, bless you. If you can't at least 1 or 10%, then that is working. Okay. Anyway, so with this, let's do the loving kindness meditation to finish off for today. All right. So sitting in comfortable position. So bringing your attention to the body. Take a few long breaths. And observing the entire body, relaxed. Feeling the entire body from inside, knowing, saying, so spend a few moments on the breath coming in, going out. And as breath coming in, going out, what are the sensations or activities takes place in your body, whether that's in your chest, in your belly, or entire body, observing that. Just observing them as they appear, like sitting at the bank of the river, looking at the river flow. Do not engage, do not grasp, or do not define right, wrong, pleasurable. Just observing. And as you're observing this breath at the nose or the rise and fall, just observing will not help you to understand clearly. So intentionally observing it. So that's why it's mentally noting it, breathing in, breathing out. Consciously making a note, I am breathing in. Or this is breathing in. This is breathing out. Or this is rising. This is falling. So making sure that you are making a mental note of each phenomena that arises as it is in the moment of here and now. And now bring your attention to the body, observing sensations, and to your heart. Feel the beating heart. And as you feel the beating heart, generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, whoever sitting next to you, thinking of them, thinking of their qualities, members of family in the house, sending this love and compassion in the community, on earth, in the universe, beings, visible or invisible beings, staying near and far, whatever beings there are, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from hatred, hurtfulness, ill will, animosity. May they be liberated. Now bring attention to your hands, observing sensations in your hand. And to your entire body. And to your eyes. Watching your intention to open your eyes. And mindfully, slowly opening your eyes. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Wish you all the best with your practice. Any problem if you have on a meditation practices or any difficulties, if you're finding, just email me or text me. Otherwise, we can meet up again next month, unless you're coming in person sessions. Okay, so with this, have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you,
Safe
Andy.
journey back, Ashan.
Thank you.
Safe journey back.
Thank you. Thank you.